Watch a classical Ghazal Gayaki performance, and you'll immediately notice the atmosphere in the room. The vocalist closes her eyes, the tabla sets a slow, deliberate rhythm, and the air gets heavy with a very specific kind of grief. If you translate the lyrics literally, you're listening to a story of absolute devastation. The singer is crying out to a cruel, indifferent lover who has abandoned them, and the narrator is left seeking refuge from their pain in a local tavern. The language is visceral and deeply human. It describes the curve of a lip, the sharp sting of betrayal, and a desperate, almost pathetic need to be noticed by someone who simply doesn't care. But there's a reason this performance feels different than a standard pop ballad. This story of earthly heartbreak might not actually be about a human lover at all. The Ghazal is an ancient poetic form engineered to hold two distinct realities at once. It forces the audience to live in the space between human agony and divine desire. To see how a poem pulls off this dual meaning, we have to look past the music and at the ink on the page. The Ghazal is governed by rigid, almost mathematical constraints. This manuscript shows the traditional layout: 5 to 15 independent two-line stanzas, known as Shers. These blocks are chained together by a strict rhyming pattern, the Qafiya, followed by a repeating phrase, the Radif, anchoring every second line. Each couplet delivers a complete thought. This unyielding architecture forces the writer to take massive, chaotic feelings and distill them into perfectly pressurized capsules of meaning. That high-pressure structure developed in 7th century Arabia, where it was originally used to document the raw pain of unrequited human romance. But centuries later, Persian Sufi mystics adopted the form because they recognized a powerful parallel. They saw that the crushing agony of being separated from a lover mirrored the human soul's quest to reunite with its creator. They treated these earthly images as a shadow of a higher reality. The human beloved translates into an unreachable God. The tavern becomes a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment, and wine represents an ecstasy that destroys the individual ego. The Ghazal lives in the tension between these two interpretations. A masterfully written couplet will never tip its hand to reveal which of the two worlds it's actually describing. By refusing to define the beloved, the Ghazal makes human romance and divine worship indistinguishable from one another. These dual realities only fully come alive when breath is pushed through them. In South Asia, the written words evolved into the sophisticated vocal tradition of Ghazal Gayaki. The classical singer acts as the ultimate interpreter. They rely on the music itself to navigate the poem's built-in ambiguity, turning written text into a fluid, emotional performance. By stretching syllables and weaving through complex classical ragas, the vocalist manipulates the meaning. They can project earthly tragedy in one breath and then pivot to soaring divine ecstasy in the very next phrase. This is why the form survives today. It doesn't rely on the listener to analyze the poem. It simply resonates with a universal psychological truth about longing. Whether you are mourning a person who walked away or reaching out to a God you cannot see, the shape of that emptiness is exactly the same. The Ghazal is the sound of the human heart reaching across that void.